Hi there, welcome to today's video. I'm Natasha of Natasha Miller Creates, and today we are going to take a look at reflective journaling. Different methods of reflective journaling is a series that I've already started to look at. I've looked at the 5 W's, the ABCDE method, as well as the 3-2-1 method. Today, we are specifically focusing on the double entry method of reflective journaling. So the reason why I decided to look into reflective journaling is to find healthier coping mechanisms. Right now, they are shopping and eating, which doesn't work out in the long run. But find healthier coping mechanisms, but also find triggers as to what sets me off and what makes me feel like I need those coping mechanisms. So I started getting into reflective journaling, and while I really appreciated the long form open-ended journaling, it wasn't working for me. I wanted and needed something that was a bit more structured and a bit more focused, and that's why I started researching reflective journaling methods. Part of my channel I do want to dedicate to health and wellness, and so this video will fall into that category. You can check out some of my other wellness videos that I have a playlist of, but for today we are going to take a look at the double entry journal method. If you're an accountant or a past accountant like I was in a previous life, I was really curious what double entry journal method meant and how it looked. So in this video, I am sharing 4 different layouts that you can use to do your double entry journal method for reflective journaling. And I'm also sharing some prompts that you can use to help guide you. Those are over on my website, so you can just click on the link down below and that'll take you to the free download. So what is the double entry journal method? At its most basic core is dividing your page into 2, and on the left-hand side, you're writing down events or facts or a quote that stood out to you, and on the right-hand side of the page, you're going to write about your thoughts and feelings related to that event or that quote. This method was originally designed as a tool for students studying text and literature to promote critical thinking and active reading. And people found that the critical thinking part of this method was really great for journaling and encouraging personal growth. Like anything, the double entry journal method has its strengths and its weaknesses. Its main strength is that it promotes critical thinking. So it encourages you to go beyond just surface level observations or thinking, and challenges you to analyze, interpret, and reflect on the significance of that event or quote or the experience. This kind of active engagement on what's happened to you can help lead you to a deeper understanding of your own feelings and emotions and ultimately lead to personal growth. The next strength that this method has is how it enhances your self-awareness. By comparing your observations and your thoughts and feelings on those observations directly allows you to see how your thoughts and reactions evolve over time, especially if you're able to get into a consistent journaling practice using this method. You're definitely going to be able to see how far you've come and if this is working for you, and find, like I said, consistent methods for coping and what your triggers are. So this helps you identify the patterns in your thinking and your behavior, which is what helps your self-awareness to grow. The next strength of this method is organization and structure. So the way the layouts are organized, it gives you a set space to journal your experiences. The structure of the double entry journal method essentially allows you to better organize your thoughts and track your thoughts. And then of course the structure gives you that little bit of a push or more intention to your journaling, which is definitely something that I need and I'm drawn to. The last strength is the versatility of this method. So the versatility of this method allows it to be applied to any experience across the board, whether that's a personal experience or a physical experience that you've encountered outside, or it's a book you've read, a movie you've watched. You're able to use it in any capacity that you need in that moment, which makes it really fantastic. I've just finished reading a book that has had a weird impact on me, and so when I found this method, or when I decided to work on this method, that was definitely one of the first things I used it for. So it was really interesting to see it from a different perspective, just to be able to essentially brain dump my thoughts and then reflect on those thoughts. So I've definitely found it to be an interesting experience, and I'm excited to try and use this now in maybe not day to day, but definitely maybe a weekly review or weekly reflective journaling. So in the same breath, the downfalls of this method is that it can be very restrictive. And I know there are a lot of you out there that maybe do tend more toward the open-ended journaling, then this method's not really going to be for you, or at least you can adapt this method to allow for that open-ended journaling. So if you isolate your experience or the quote, you can still have space to do that open-ended journaling without too much restriction. Just like anything, it can be time consuming, but I do feel like you can either make the time for it or make the time that you need or block out some time, even if it's 5 minutes. I feel sometimes the less time you have, the more clear you are in your thoughts, or it's even something that you can go back on and reflect on your reflections because I'm probably one of those people. The biggest fallback for me, though, would be that it does require consistent practice in order to reap the full benefits of this. So as I mentioned, one of its strengths being that you're able to see your patterns and work through your consistent behaviors in order to achieve self-growth, but that's going to take time. So I definitely think that's probably one of the harder parts of this method. If it's something that I find is helpful and I can start incorporating that into my everyday, then I think obviously that's not going to be a problem, but it's definitely something to keep in mind. You want to give this at least the good old try. So I mentioned in my setup videos, I like to give a new layout at least 3 months before I decide if it's useful or not. And so I think that's definitely the mentality to go into this method of reflective journaling. So as for the layouts I've set up, there is the basic 2-column spread that you can use however you want. But I have come up with some journaling prompts for this method, and those journaling prompts are divided into different categories. So self-reflection, self-awareness, personal growth, and mindfulness, to name a few. And those prompts are based on those categories. You don't obviously have to use it in that strict way. That's just how I'm planning on using it. And like I said, I just wanted a bit more structure. So the rest of the layouts I've created tie more into those prompts. So the hybrid mind map, for example, I've split the page up where I have put my headings in, and then I have a box where I am going to record the experience or the quote that I want to reflect on, and then of course the space below for the actual journaling. And then of course there's the themed reflection layout. So what I've done is I've assigned a page to every category, and the first square, I'm adding in what I'm reflecting on, obviously, and then there's space for journaling. So there's definitely different ways that you can approach this. For the weekly summary spread, it's a lot more simplified. You've got events, challenges, and highlights, and then there's space to reflect on that. I'm also very drawn to that. As much as I do like the prompts and I am going to give them a try, I think that would probably be more of a monthly thing versus the weekly summary spread that I've created with the challenges and the highlights and stuff that I can see being more weekly. This time of year is a little bit harder for me. I do struggle with change a lot, and I've been drawn to reflection journaling. Again, like I said, there's been a bit of a break between my last video on reflective journaling and this one, and I definitely feel that need to reassess and figure out what's going on in my head. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got some inspiration for doing some of your own reflection journaling. If you are deciding to use this method, let me know down below. If there's a specific method that I haven't mentioned that you use consistently and you have found helpful, I'd love to hear about it. Let me know down below. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching today, and I will see you in the next one. So in this video today, I am sharing 5 different layouts. No, 5? 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. For more bullet journaling content, make sure to check out one of these videos below, and I will see you over there.